Hello, I am so glad you can join me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Guys, I'm back. I had a wonderful time in England, and I just want to say, guys, I have the best family in the entire world. My cousins were so nice. They were so generous to us. They treated my aunt and I so wonderfully, guys. We had a really great time. Guys, I gotta show you something. One of my cousins that was there, she's almost 94 years old with a sharp memory, I'm telling you. So one of the things that she gave me when she found out that I like cooking is her cookbook. Now, she said to me she bought this cookbook from Barbados back in 1964. So I started to go through this, but you see how it's all taped up and so on? This is, years, it's old. So she have in here some all kind of recipes, cakes, and what is so fascinating is she has like cakes, like 3 or 4 different ways of making them. Choice bread, 3 different ways of making them. So I was like, yes! So now I can bring you some recipes, but different ways of making them. So I'm kind of excited about that. One thing that is in her book that I'm going to recreate today is scones. I like scones, and I usually buy scones here. But when I went to England, I asked for some scones. They were wrong, and it was like a biscuit. Here, when they're wrong like that, they're called biscuits. The scones here is usually shaped in a triangle shape, okay? So the scones wasn't that great over there, so I want to recreate it because mine is good. I'm telling you, it's good. And I have her recipe in there of scones, but I'm just going to change it up a little bit. So I want you to come and follow along with me. And guys, you guys have all this stuff in your kitchen, okay? Because this is really simple stuff. So let's get going. I'll tell you exactly how to make it. The first thing I have here is my bowl. And in my bowl, I'm gonna use a 1/3 cup of sugar. You don't need a lot of sugar for your scones because you just want a hint of sweetness. You don't want it to be too sweet. So this is 1/3 cup of sugar. And to this sugar, I have here a lemon. So I need some lemon zest in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get a little bit of zest from this lemon here in there. So I took off the skin of the lemon here. I'm going to put this back in the bowl. I don't need any more of that. And this is my lemon zest right here. Okay? So once you have your lemon zest in here with your sugar, now what I'm going to do to this is I'm going to take my hands. Always make sure your hands are clean when you're cooking. And I'm just going to rub the lemon between the sugar. And this is just to get the oils out of the lemon. It gives you more of a lemony taste, your cake, okay? But remember, if you don't like the lemon taste, lemon flavor, you're allergic to lemon or whatever, you don't have to put lemon in, okay? You can cut that part out, okay? So the next thing I'm gonna do to this here, guys, is I am going to add 2 cups of flour. 1 cup. 2 cups of flour. That's all we need in here. 2 cups of flour and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to be using 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, guys, over here I have some butter. This is 1/2 cup of butter, or it's about 8 tablespoons of butter. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this butter. Your butter, you're going to leave it in the refrigerator and let it stay hard, because this recipe, you need your butter to be hard, okay? So now you're going to cut your butter into small pieces. Okay, so by cutting up your butter like this, you kind of give yourself a nice flaky dough, okay, a nice buttery dough, and that's what you want. So I'm going to take this butter and add it here to the flour, and then you're going to go in with your fingers And guys, I don't think I did this before, but what I should have done is went ahead and stir this up, okay? Because I had the sugar that was settled on the bottom. Wasn't thinking, guys, and I put the baking powder and salt in there. So what I should have done is just mix everything up before I put the butter in. So don't do what I did, just do the right thing, okay? Just mix it up. Once you have it all mixed up well, come on there. You go in now with your fingers and you kind of break up your butter with your flour, okay? So you're gonna take your fingers and squeeze it up. You're gonna get it like little pebbles. And my butter is kind of hard. I put my butter in the freezer to get it really nice and hard. You can do the same thing. Next thing I'm gonna do is an egg. I have 1 egg. We're gonna add 1 egg. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this 1 egg in here. Here we go. Here I have 1 can of evaporated milk. So I need 3/4 of this right here. So measuring about 3/4 cup. And I'm gonna add that to this egg. And then I'm just gonna beat this egg up a little bit. Okay guys, now I have some explaining to do. I did not realize that my camera stopped working while I was videoing. Bummer. Now, what happened is when you saw that I was breaking up the butter instead of the flour, then I set that aside. But before I set it aside, raisins, like between a 1/2 cup of raisins and a 1/2 cup of cherries. What I did is I cut the cherries up small. Now, normally I like to add mixed fruits, but I didn't have any mixed fruits, so I cut my cherries up small with some raisins and I added to the flour. And then I added the milk to that. But you didn't see that part because the camera cut off and I didn't realize that the camera cut off. So let me apologize for that. So what it is guys, after you break up the flour, the butter instead of the flour, what you do is you can add some blueberries, fresh blueberries to that if you like. You can add cranberries. I added raisins because I like those. You can add those as well. You can add whatever you want to add to it and then mix it up. But be gentle when you're mixing it, because if you have like fresh strawberries, you don't want to burst them. And you have to gently stir it, okay? So that's it. I'm sorry that I missed that part, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. I'm going to add it to my mixture. So I'm going to put here a little well here. And I'm going to pour my mixture in here. And I'm going to leave back a little bit of the egg and the milk. Okay, I'm gonna use that later, so I'll leave that back. And over here, what I'm gonna do is I am going to combine everything here together, but you're going to be gentle with it. You don't want to over mix it or mix too hard. And as I said, if you have like fresh fruit in here, like blueberries, you would be gentle, okay? You can also, if you like the tart taste, you can also add cranberries as well. So you just mix it in well. Oops, making a mess. You just turn it around like this, mix it in. Okay, guys, and you see as you keep turning, it becomes stiff like that, like a little ball. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is put it out on my counter. This is what you're gonna have right here, this ball right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it over here on my mat. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour right there. Okay, then I'm going to turn this out here. And I'm gonna take my little knife here and scrape this off. And we're not gonna need this. Normally your intention would be to knead. We're not gonna knead it, okay guys? We just rest this here, and what I'm gonna do is put a little flour on my hands, like this, okay? Just so that it doesn't stick to my hands. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just make a circle right here, and I'm gonna flatten it out. And I'm gonna go ahead and flatten it out. to maybe about an 8-inch disc. Put a little more flour on my hand and continue to flatten it out. It's about an 8-inch disc. I have a little scraper here. I'm going to take my scraper and I'm going to come around with my scraper to the edges just to get them all even together. Looks pretty with my cherries in there, don't it? And wonderful. So now what I'm gonna do to this is I'm gonna cut it in half, okay? Put a little bit of flour so that this would stop it from sticking. And I have it, this is about half right here. So I cut it in half, or almost half. And then I'm going to cut it in half again, like that. And guys, and that's how I cut scones. This is usually when I buy it. This is what the scones usually look like here. And you cut it. If you don't have a scraper, you can use a knife. You can use anything to cut. Okay? And that's it. And this is what your scones should look like. These, you can put a baking sheet inside of your pan. Here's my baking sheet right here. And then I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna put them on my baking sheet. You just separate them a little bit because you don't want anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer for 20 minutes and then I will be back to show you what I'm gonna do next. Okay, so here is the scones out of the freezer. What you need to do, guys, is go ahead and set your oven at 375. And set your oven ahead of time, so by the time you're ready to put your scones in, your oven would already be hot, okay? So remember this little liquid that I asked you to leave back, which is the milk and the egg. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a little of this and kind of pinch your scones with it, like that. You're gonna go ahead and put these in the oven at 375 for about 15 to 20 minutes. Just check them in about 15 minutes and see how they're doing, and if they need to be a little bit longer, you put them in for a little bit longer, okay? So I'll be back as soon as these are all done. So scones are out of the oven. This is what they look like right here. I just took them out. They're very hot. So I'm gonna let them cool here for a few minutes, and as soon as they're cool, I'm gonna put them on a wire rack to cool some more, and then I will come back and taste them for you. So the scones are all done. They're nice and cool. So I want to go ahead and taste them for you. So here is what my scone looks like. And as I said, guys, I put raisins and I put cherries in here. You can put blueberries, you can put cranberries, you can put whatever you want in yours, okay? So let me go ahead and taste them for you. This is the back here, and I'm gonna break it. Look, it looks nice and moist on the inside. So let me go ahead and take a piece and taste it and tell you what it tastes like. It is good. Guys, it is very good. It has a little crunch from the bottom, from the buttery, you know, from the butter made that crunch. Inside is nice and moist on the inside. See? It's nice and soft on the inside. And buttery. It looks delicious. You have a little crunch to the bottom. These are very good. These scones are delicious. I hope that you can go ahead and make some for yourself and your family. You're going to love them. They're not too sweet. They're just right. You can make yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. Perfect. I had fun making these, and I hope you have fun making some for your family. Guys, don't forget to share the video, like the video. Give me a thumbs up on the video. When I say like the video, a thumbs up. If you've already watched the video this far and you have not subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. I appreciate it if you do that. And I thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.